Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. And once again, outstanding guests. We have the chairman of the Prince George's County Planning Board, Dr. Samuel Parker Jr. Now, this is a young man that decides a lot of things that happens, and most of them are positive. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. It's glad to be here.
Mr. Chairman, park and planning, you know, that sounds familiar to me. It looks like I've heard it somewhere. I keep hearing that when I have nightmares.
That's because you probably heard the whole name, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission.
I was trying to figure it out. You know, a lot of people really can't figure it out. That's a good point that you have there, is the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. The agency, tell the people, that's a bi-agency.
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of history. It actually was created by state legislation in 1927, and the genesis of it was to expand the park system outside of Washington, D.C., because you know you have Rock Creek Park, think of Rock Creek Park, right. But then how do you create an extensive park system as the suburbs were growing? So many of the acres of parkland that are in Prince George's County in Maryland were actually acquired through the original creation of Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and with federal dollars. Over time, the agency developed the responsibility of planning for the counties of Montgomery County and Prince George's County under the organizational body of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. We have two boards, the Planning Board in Prince George's County and the Planning Board in Montgomery County, and those two boards make up the commission and dictate the policies for the regional body for Montgomery County and Prince George's County. Now, we act independently, of course, because our tax dollars come different. They come from Montgomery County uses its tax dollars and Prince George's County uses its tax dollars. We share in the operation of the commission's administrative and financial structure. You know, for example, we have our own retirement system. We have our own financial system, payroll system, which is entirely different from the county. It's all a park and planning entity. Those things that are common to Montgomery County and Prince George's County for the operation of the agency are shared together. But as far as the operation of our parks and recreation system in Prince George's County and our planning apparatus in Prince George's County, as well as in Montgomery County, the separate tax dollars pay for those individually. Now, I am vice chair of the whole commission, this regional body.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I am chairman of the Prince George's County Planning Board.
All right. And
remember, I said each county has its own board, and they make up the planning boards for each county. And we are there are 5 members on the board. Each member is appointed by the county executive and confirmed by the county council. The interesting thing about it is, which is unusual for planning boards around the country, my job is a full-time job. Mm-hmm. And as the chair of the planning board, I am responsible for making policy and giving direction for the planning department in Prince George's County and the parks and recreation departments in Prince George's County. So that board acts as the policy board, right. and credibility for how the agency operates in Prince George's County. So it's a very unusual structure.
Yes, it is.
But it also gives us the potential, which doesn't really exist in this region at all, for the two counties on things, to look at things jointly, to look at how we operate jointly, to look at the impacts on each county as we plan.
Both of the planning board and the parks department have won outstanding awards throughout the years. National awards.
We are one of the best, right, and one of the largest parks and recreation departments, let's say, in the nation.
In the nation, that's right.
We have been awarded 5 national awards for how we operate.
Right.
And we are looked upon, and many of our residents don't really know this, we are looked upon as the model for how to operate a parks and recreation department.
Right. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in that?
I am a planner by profession. I'm certified by the American Institute of Planners. I got my planning degree. Thanks for calling me young man, but I got my planning degree back in 1972 from Cornell. I grew up in Washington. I went to Catholic U, got my bachelor's in Catholic U. I've worked for the federal government at Department of Housing and Urban Development. Was very involved in nonprofits in a very well-known planning and metropolitan planning agency, nonprofit agency in Washington, D.C. For a while, I worked as, had my own business in a completely different kind of field. My wife and I in business, we dabbled a little bit in development. I have a passion both personally and from a professional point of view of how to rehabilitate and revitalize our older communities, especially using the direction of historic preservation. What does that mean? What is our history, and what does the growth of a community mean for how they advance into the future, how we improve our communities in the future? So I have a real interest in how we improve our established communities within the Beltway, our older communities.
Great. That sounds good. Now, let's get to some of the projects that's going on now. We're going to start with one of my favorites. I was really impressed about it when I heard about it and I saw the schematic there. We'll start with this project here on your left.
The Southern Regional Technology and Recreational Complex.
Right.
Let me put that in a bigger context. And I'll talk individually about the building. We have been undertaking over the last year within the Parks and Recreation Department a very significant study that looks at the direction and the future of where our Parks and Recreation Department should go. And it's called 2010 and Beyond. And we've gone out all over the community to get the feelings and the reaction of people about their Parks and Recreation Department, what it should, what's missing, what's good about it, but where should we go in the next 20, 30 years? And one of the things that, just as an example, we were looking at what are some of the equity issues and standards. Because I think our parks system should be equal all over the county. Bowie shouldn't get anything different than Seat Pleasant, and vice versa. And so how we operate, what our facilities offer, how our properties are kept should be consistent.
So what this is designated for that area because there's lack of that type of facility?
The two things. One is that there's been a lot of growth in the southern part of the county over the past decade. Tremendous amount of new housing, new growth. There has been a tendency to put up community centers in a neighborhood-based philosophy where we currently have
development.
But we currently have about 40 community centers. And those community centers range in size from like 16,000 square feet to 22,000 square feet.
What makes this one different?
It's 36,000 square feet. It's made to be a regional center that offers a whole variety of programs and activities that oftentimes our community centers can't offer, because even at 16,000 square feet, generally there's meeting rooms and a gym. This is a state-of-the-art building. I said it's 36,000 square feet. It combines the growth and technology of that we must provide our young kids opportunities and access to use technology. There'll be things like a recording studio. There'll be things, an audio studio. There'll be computer training and learning process. So when our kids come from that part of the county, they'll have tremendous access to educational and technological things.